So, what does it take for a company to be unstoppable? Is it having the biggest budget, the most advanced technology, or the longest in the history of the industry? Hello, I'm Jerico. As a company director with many years of experience in management, I'll try to share business knowledge, problems companies might face, and how to solve workplace troubles in an easy to understand manner. In this channel, I'll share insights that I've gained while balancing family, work, and everyday life. Have you noticed that everything seems to be changing at a lightning speed lately? Technology evolves overnight, market shifts without warning, and even people's priorities aren't what they used to be. You hear things like, our strategy can't keep up, or we just don't have the people or time for digital transformation. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Today, let's talk about why so many businesses fall behind change and what great leaders do differently to stay adaptable, resilient, and ready for whatever comes next.
The market and technology seems to be moving faster than ever. How is this affecting traditional business planning?
Honestly, it's turning upside down. By the time traditional plan is finalized, the market landscape may have already changed. Technology evolves in months, not years. So strategies built for stability often end up outdated before they're even executed. So long-term vision still matters. However, the way we plan for it has to change. So many leaders are still using the playbooks built for slower world and not those current strategies that are designed to keep things steady, not flexible. So what works now are strategies that prioritize agility over rigidity. So it's really a mind shift from the product, predict and plan, or to choose, observe, and adapt. So in the past, leaders tried to forecast everything in detail, map out every step, and then execute according to plan. But now, the smartest organizations focus on observing real-world challenges or changes, testing quickly, and adjusting it on the go. It's less about getting the plan perfect and more about getting the good at changing direction fast.
That sounds great in theory, but how do leaders actually make that happen day to day?
So there are two things that makes this quite different. Real-time data and short decision loops. So real-time data helps leaders see what's actually happening in their business and market right now and not what was true the last quarter. The short decision loops allows teams to respond quickly, test ideas, and learn fast. So instead of locking everything into the 12 months roadmap, leaders just set clear priorities but leave room to adjust. They make small frequent decisions instead of the big frequent ones. That's what keeps them from moving when others are stuck waiting for the perfect plan. So the best leaders today stay curious, keep listening to their teams, and use data to guide rather than to dictate. So these are the leaders who can steer throughout uncertainty with confidence because they're not married to one plan. They're committed to learning and adapting constantly.
Everyone's talking about digital transformation, AI tools, and upskilling these days. Why do so many companies still struggle to make progress?
They understand that digital transformation is essential for survival. The problem isn't awareness, it's actually execution. When it comes to actually implementing change, things tend to slow down. Like teams get caught up in the complexity of legacy systems, the lack of digital talent, and the fear of taking risks. So even with the best intentions, executions lags behind. So there are three big ones that come up again and again and again. Legacy systems Like the older technologies often can't integrate easily with modern tools, which makes innovation feel like a huge technical challenge. Also, lack of digital intent. Many teams don't have yet the mix of data, tech, and design skills needed to make the transformation stick. Also, there's this fear of failure. So this one's more cultural than technical. Teams worry about making a lot of mistakes. They avoid experimenting or trying out new things. These blockers create a cycle where everyone agrees on the transformation, which is they think it's important, but no one feels confident taking the first step.
That makes so much sense. So, how can companies actually start breaking through those barriers?
The key is to start small. Digital transformation doesn't have to begin with a massive organizational wild overhaul. So, in fact, that's usually what slows things down. Start with one workflow, something simple but visible. Then, launch one pilot project to prove that the digital tools or the automation can work. And once the first pilot succeeds, momentum builds up naturally, other teams sees the success, and you want to replace it. That's how real change spreads.
You mentioned that digital transformation isn't just a project, but a cultural shift. What do you mean by that?
Many companies still treat digital transformation like a one-time, big-time project. Something you plan, execute, and then stop, finish. But in reality, it's actually a continuous process. It's not just about new tools or systems. It's about how people think and work every day. So a digital culture is also one where teams experiment, learn quickly, and adapt to change without really waiting for permission.
Many founders and CEOs struggle with succession. Why is it such a big concern?
Because most leaders, it's not just about finding a replacement, it's about ensuring that the company's vision and values continue. They built something deeply personal, so letting go feels risky. And anyone can hold a title, but it takes mentorship, empowerment, and of course, experience to truly lead. The next generation needs room to grow, make decisions, and sometimes fail, and that's how the real leadership develops.
What happens when there's no mentorship or empowerment in place?
The organization stops evolving. So people focus on maintaining only for what exists instead of building what's next. So innovation slows down because no one feels ownership or confidence into changing out the old ways. So let future leaders shadow, experiment, and take part in the real decisions. Give them both responsibility and guidance. True succession really happens gradually. And when the next generation is ready, not just to manage, but to adapt and grow the business.
Why do some companies fall behind even when they have the great products or resources?
I think because they stop learning. Growth stalls when teams get too comfortable doing things the old way. So, as you know, market shifts, technology evolves, and if a company isn't feeling or learning faster enough to keep it up, it slowly loses its edge. So, best companies aren't always the biggest. They're the fastest learners. They move quickly, test ideas, and learn from every outcome instead of avoiding mistakes. They build systems that help them learn and make them faster than anyone else.
How can leaders build that kind of learning culture?
It all comes down to three key habits. Encourage experimentation. Let teams test new ideas and learn through doing. Next is reward curiosity. Recognize the people who ask questions and challenge the routines. And share lessons openly. Make it normal to discuss what worked, what didn't, and what was learned. So the companies that thrive are the ones that learn faster than the pace of change. So in business today, learning is the ultimate competitive advantage. So, what does it take for a company to be unstoppable? Is it having the biggest budget, the most advanced technology, or the longest in the history of the industry? I think not. Is there something else, something less visible but far more powerful that sets real winners apart? Here's the truth. It's none of those things. The real edge belongs to companies that learn the fastest. Falling behind doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in quietly when teams stop asking questions, when leaders stick to the old playbooks, and when the focus shifts from learning to simply maintaining. When a curious culture takes root, everything changes. The company becomes self-correcting. They become agile, creative, and always evolving. Because in today's world, success isn't about being the biggest player. It's about being the fastest learner. The ones who adapt faster can change itself and are the ones who win every single time. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights about business and digital strategies. Thank you and see you next time. Bye!